Everybody was like, did that really just happen? Okay everyone, so you probably have a couple questions about today's footage and today's vlog so far. The first one being, Mallory, you've already graduated from Texas State. Why would you be going on a campus tour and going on a glass bottom boat tour? You've been living here for 4 years. Well, here comes some big news. Do you remember how I told you that currently, I told you this in my About Me tag, that currently I was working for the financial aid office as a temporary employee to hopefully get a position on campus? Well, about a week after I made that video, I got a call from one of the places that I had applied to asking me to interview for an administrative assistant 2 position in the Health Professions Advising Center at Texas State. Now, it was my first time getting an interview with Texas State, and I truly believe it's because I had the Texas State full-time-ish experience now on my resume. My resume and cover letter were almost exactly the same as what I had done before when I hadn't worked at financial aid and I wasn't receiving any interviews. But then again, after I have this job at financial aid, I turn in I apply for a position, and a week later I get an interview, the first one I apply for. So I thought, well, you know, even if I don't get the job, it's still going to be great experience to be applying for and interviewing for a full-time position here at Texas State. So I went and I applied, and I really liked the people I went and interviewed, and I really liked the people who I interviewed with, and it seemed to go well, but I wasn't sure, I had never done an interview with, a full-time position before. So, they always ask you, do you have any questions? And I read somewhere, and I know that it's good to have questions ready to ask them, just to make it seem like you're interested in the position. So I asked them when they were looking to, start the position. Now, anybody who works for Texas State, or I think any university, knows that hiring somebody for full-time employment can be extremely long because it has to go through equity and access, which is where it kind of halts. So they had told me that they were looking to start in about a month because they knew that it was going to take a while to go through the system. Now, keep in mind, I was the first candidate that interviewed that day. I think there was 4 or 5 people that interviewed for the position, and so I was just kind of asking a question. The other thing I asked was, how did they feel about higher education? Because I do want to go back and get a master's from Texas State someday. Anyway, fast forward to about a week and a half after that, I received a call from a Texas State number, and I thought, it's got to be the thank you for applying, but unfortunately we've gone with another candidate who fit the position a little bit more call, because when you get an interview at Texas State, instead of getting an email telling you all that, you do get an actual call, usually from the Human Resources Department. Sorry, my arm's getting really tired. Now, I was at work, so I couldn't take the call at that point, but I went ahead, and when I was on break, called the number back. And keep in mind, it was only a week and a half, so I really thought this has got to be a rejection, because it could not have gone through equity and access and everything. But I had also been told that they were calling my resources. Anyway, so I was super confused by all the calling the references, but it had only been a week and a half. Could this really be happening? Who knows? So I called back, and I was offered the position. So the big news is I've now gone from a temporary employee at Texas State to a full-time benefits eligible employee, and I'm ecstatic. I started work on Monday, so I did a new employee welcome, or the orientation and professional development part 1 on Monday, which was just pretty much telling us about the benefits and all the different resources that Texas State has. But then today they kind of do the whoop-de-doo welcome to campus, is what I think it's kind of supposed to be. So that was really awesome. So that's what all the footage from today is from, is actually the campus tour of the beautiful campus. I love Texas State. I always love Texas State. Also, the other footage, which I think was the best part about today, was they took us on a glass bottom boat tour, and it's something that I haven't done since I was probably in 8th or 9th grade with my grandma, and I remember it being really cool, but I was also in 8th or 9th grade, so I didn't remember everything. I had a blast. Everybody was super nice. It was with people who had also started in the last month at Texas State, and so everybody's kind of in the same boat. No pun intended. Everybody's literally in the same boat. But yeah, that was a blast. What I didn't show, thank goodness, was at the very end of the glass bottom boat tour, the tour guide was showing us all the species of turtles that are in this Edwards Aquifer at Texas State. And it was really not funny, but kind of hysterical, because the tour guide is telling us, sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. The tour guide is telling us that, there's several different types, and there's 5,300 and some odd turtles that call Edwards Aquifer its home, and he's telling us how to tell if it's a boy or a girl because of the shell size and all this kind of stuff. And then he tells us, well, I think we should go back and dock now. It's time for the tour to be over. So right about that time, he says, if you look down, because the glass bottom is in the very middle of the boat, so you kind of have to lean over to see it. He's like, if you look down, there's a 3-foot spotted gar, which is the biggest predator here. So everybody's looking, and then we hear a thonk, thonk, and let's just say he hit a turtle, and it was not good. So it kind of was quiet for a second, and everybody was like, did that really just happen? And a lady goes, oh my gosh, I think you hit a turtle. And our tour guide, bless his heart, was like, yep, I'm going to be getting a call from our turtle specialist on Monday. So it was not funny at the time, but you also kind of had to giggle because he was just talking about it. And it wasn't funny. I'm not somebody who likes to torture animals. I have 2 dogs, for goodness sake. But it was just funny the way it happened and when it happened. So that was my day.